Okay, so we've got a lot to unpack today
Mhm.
surrounding back health and staying upright and all that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's just so much info out there, right? It's
Mhm.
like everyone's talking about back pain and preventing falls,
Mhm.
but finding a simple, truly effective way to tackle both those things,
Yeah.
it feels kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Honestly, more complicated than it should be.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It does seem like we have all these pieces of the puzzle scattered around.
Yeah,
You find exercises for lower back pain in one place, balance drills somewhere else entirely.
exactly.
But what's often missing is that connection, that
Mm.
strategy that links posture, strength, flexibility.
It's like they're all in their own little silos, right?
Precisely.
So today, what we're going to do is dive deep
Okay.
into these sources you've given us
Yeah.
and try to pull out the gold, the real insights.
Feels good.
We want to understand how this whole integrated approach, focusing on posture, strength, and
Mhm.
flexibility all working together could actually be a more powerful way to really improve back health and prevent those stumbles and falls.
Yeah, I like that.
And, as I was going through everything, a few things popped out that feels really interesting. The Upright Life as a possible program name.
Okay.
This idea of body wisdom for becoming more aware of your body and how it moves.
I like it.
And then flow for thinking about how we move dynamically.
Interesting.
So let's unpack why this whole integrated perspective is so important.
I think the sources make a very convincing case for that. They highlight how traditional methods often look at back pain or balance problems as separate things
Yeah.
instead of considering all the ways they're connected.
It's like treating the symptom and not the root cause.
Exactly. Your posture, for example, it directly affects your stability, how
Yeah.
strong you are for everyday activities. Well, that influences how safely you move,
Right.
and your flexibility, that determines your ability to react if you do lose your balance. They're all intertwined.
Yeah, they're all part of the same system.
Yeah.
It's not just about, masking the pain temporarily.
Right.
It's about building a body that's resilient and strong in the long run.
Exactly. And the sources emphasize something that's super relevant for anyone who's, busy.
Yeah.
A program that's clear, concise, well-structured, that's more likely to be something people stick with,
Oh, absolutely.
Most of us don't have hours to devote to separate routines for different issues.
No, we need something that works for real life.
Exactly.
And I love this idea of specificity. It really resonated with me. It's not just about hitting the gym and lifting weights,
Right.
It's about functional strength. Strength that helps you with everyday stuff, like carrying groceries without throwing your back out, reaching for something without wobbling, or getting up from a chair smoothly and confidently.
That's what truly addresses the risk of falls and those everyday aches and pains.
Yeah, totally. And it's proactive instead of waiting for the pain or the fall to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like building that foundation of strength, stability, flexibility to prevent those things from happening in the first place.
A shift from just reacting to actually being preventative.
Yeah, I like it. So let's talk about what the upright life could actually look like, in practice.
Okay.
The sources give some really good examples
I do.
of what this program could include.
One key component is exercises that focus on postural awareness.
Yeah.
So it's about becoming more conscious of how you're holding your body, your alignment, how your weight's distributed, and how to engage those core muscles to support your spine.
So it's like retraining your body to find that internal balance.
Exactly. It's like building your own internal support system.
Makes sense. And then there's the functional strength training,
Right.
which we touched on earlier. Exercises that mimic those daily movements. Squats to help you get up and down. Lunges for walking and stairs. Even carrying things like weights to simulate groceries.
Mm-hmm.
Making your body strong in
Oh.
ways that directly relate to your life and help reduce strain.
It's about being strong for life.
Right. And then there's this idea of dynamic movement mobility.
I like.
So it's not just about holding stretches for ages. It's about movement-based exercises to increase your range of motion in a way that actually helps you in everyday life.
That's key.
Like instead of just holding a hamstring stretch, you might do leg swings or gentle twists, to warm up the muscles and improve flexibility through movement.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have balance training.
Yes. Crucial for preventing falls.
Absolutely. It's about activities that challenge your stability and coordination. Help your body learn to stay balanced and recover if you trip. It's almost like re-educating your body to stay upright.
It's like giving your body a refresher course in not falling over.
Exactly.
And the sources also talk about the mind-body connection.
Mm-hmm.
So incorporating things like mindfulness and relaxation techniques.
That might not seem directly related to strength or flexibility,
Yeah.
but stress can really impact muscle tension and how aware we are of our bodies.
Right, it's all connected.
Right. Integrating mindfulness can help us become more attuned to our posture and how we move and reduce that overall tension that can contribute to back pain.
It's like tuning into your body's signals.
Exactly.
So when you look at all these components working together, what stands out to you?
It's the synergy, how they all feed into each other. You know, improved postural awareness makes your strength training more effective because you're working from a better starting point.
Yeah.
That strength then enhances your balance. And being more mindful improves your ability to hold good posture and move with more control.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
And the sources emphasize that this isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. The program can be adapted to different fitness levels and individual needs, which is so important for people to actually stick with it.
Right. It has to work for the individual. Now let's talk branding.
Okay.
The upright life.
Yep.
It really does have a good ring to it, you know?
Yeah, I like it.
Positive, aspirational. It's about reaching for something better, not just fixing what's broken.
Yeah. It projects a strong image right away. It communicates good posture and well-being.
And then we have body wisdom and flow. These could be modules or guiding principles within the program,
Yeah, like that.
adding more depth and variety.
Yeah.
So body wisdom, the sources suggest this could be a module or a series of lessons focused on understanding how your body works, how it's designed to move, and cultivating that internal awareness.
It's about learning to listen to your body.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Tuning into those subtle cues.
Because so often we ignore those early signs, a little stiffness here, a twinge there, and then they turn into big problems.
Yeah, we just push through it.
Body wisdom could help people become more in tune with their bodies and spot those movement patterns that might be causing issues.
I like it. And then flow.
Yeah.
This could really capture the essence of the movement, right? Sequences of dynamic stretches and exercises that are fluid and coordinated and enjoyable. It sounds a lot more appealing than just, a list of stretches.
It does. It feels more natural and organic.
Yeah. And the structure they propose for the Upright Life program really brings all this together.
Yeah, it seems really user-friendly.
So Module 1 is Foundations,
Okay.
focusing on good posture alignment and engaging those core muscles,
Yeah.
the basics.
Building that solid base.
Right. Then Module 2 is Body Wisdom,
Yeah.
building on that foundation by deepening your body awareness and adding mindful movement.
It's not just how you move, but understanding why.
Exactly. Then Module 3 is Flow,
Uh-huh.
bringing in those dynamic stretches and exercises to increase flexibility, coordination, and make movement more efficient.
Freeing up the body.
Yeah. Then Module 4 is Functional Strength.
Okay.
Here, the focus shifts to building strength for everyday activities.
The practical stuff.
Right. This is where the program helps prevent those injuries that happen from daily life.
And finally, Module 5 is balance and stability,
Yes.
specifically targeting balance and reducing the risk of falls.
It's such a well-rounded approach.
It's a progression, right? You start with the fundamentals and build up to more challenging aspects. It's organized and effective.
Now, you shared some pretty eye-opening statistics about the impact of back pain and falls,
Yeah.
both personally and economically. Let's start with back pain. The numbers are pretty shocking.
They are. The Unison report you shared mentioned 12 million lost workdays every year in the UK due to back pain alone.
It's a huge loss of productivity.
Yeah.
It makes you think, why is back pain such a big factor in missed work?
Right. You'd think with more sedentary jobs these days it might be less of an issue, but it's not.
Yeah, and that's just from one report. The Health and Safety Executive data from 2020 showed a much bigger number, 38.8 million workdays lost because of all work-related health problems.
Wow.
And back pain was a big part of that.
That's a lot of lost time.
And a meta-analysis found that about 15.5% of workers with back pain end up taking time off.
And the British Chiropractic Association estimates people with back problems might take as many as 12 sick days per year.
Wow. It really highlights how widespread and disruptive back pain can be. Not just for individuals, but for the whole economy.
Yeah.
And the sources talked about all sorts of things that affect how much work is missed, like how bad the pain is, the type of job someone has, even access to treatment.
Makes sense. Someone doing a physical job might be more likely to have back problems and need longer to recover.
Right.
But if they can get help early on and the right kind of care, that can make a big difference in how quickly they can go back to work.
It's not just the pain itself, it's all the ripple effects it has.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about falls. The costs are huge there too.
Yeah, both in the workplace and just in general.
In the workplace, falls can cost a lot. Direct costs like medical bills, lost productivity workers' comp claims, even legal fees.
And then there are those indirect costs that aren't as obvious, like lower morale among employees and all the time and resources it takes to investigate accidents.
The HSE data from 2022-23 show that workplace injuries in the UK cost a whopping £7.1 billion, and falls from height were a major contributor.
Globally, the average cost per injury at work was estimated at about US $41,000 a few years ago.
It's a big burden for businesses.
And falls outside of work are just as costly, if not more. You have medical expenses, long-term care for people who have serious injuries, and lost productivity when people can't work or do their normal activities.
And there are also those indirect costs that are harder to measure, like the impact on quality of life,
Yeah.
the emotional toll it takes on people and their families, and the added strain on the healthcare system.
It's a big picture problem.
The numbers for the UK are pretty revealing. The yearly cost of fragility fractures from falls is about £4.4 billion.
And then you have things like fall hazards in people's homes, which cost the NHS in England over £400 million annually.
What's really striking is how these costs go up as people get older, especially for older adults who are more likely to have fractures and other complications from falls.
Right.
But even for younger people, a bad fall can cause long-term health problems and financial burdens.
It's definitely something to take seriously.
When you look at all these costs for both back pain and falls,
Yeah,
it really highlights the need to invest in prevention, right?
absolutely. A proactive approach, like the upright life we've been discussing, could not only make people healthier, but also save a lot of money in the long run.
So it's clear from everything we've talked about that posture, strength, flexibility, they're not just separate things, they're all connected. And they play a huge role in preventing back problems and falls.
And an approach like the upright life that brings these elements together seems much more effective than trying to deal with them one by one.
Yeah, it's about looking at the whole picture.
By focusing on the root causes of back pain and instability, we can give people the tools to be more proactive about their health.
And with the costs we've talked about, it's clear that we need effective prevention strategies.
Right.
This deep dive has really highlighted the potential for a more holistic and integrated approach to make a real difference.
It's inspiring, right?
It really is. It makes you think, how could we all start incorporating some of these principles into our daily lives, even without a formal program?
Yeah, that's a great takeaway.
Maybe that's something for you to consider as you go about your day.
Okay.
Just a little nudge to think about how you can live a more upright, stable, and healthier life.
I like it.
That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.